Hey everyone, so I actually just finished filming the $20 makeup challenge, so if you're interested in this makeup that I have on my face right now, I will put the link to that video down below. But actually today's video was a request from a subscriber, and basically she said that she had absolutely no makeup and she's about to go to the drugstore and pick out new items, but she didn't know where to start. So what I'm going to do for you guys today is let you know my 10 products that I think that if you're starting out from absolute scratch, what I think you should go with, what type of products, and then my recommendation for that category. So obviously if I say blush, I'll tell you what type of blush, mascara, what type of mascara, basically my favorites and where to start. Now I do want to say that I feel like when you're first starting out with makeup that you should definitely start with lower end drugstore products. I wouldn't recommend going to Macy's and going to the Estee Lauder counter and the Chanel counter when you're first starting out with makeup. I think that it's much better to start with lower end products so that way you can get a feel of what you like, what your taste is, and then down the road if you want to invest in more expensive products, you can by all means go ahead and do that, but I definitely wouldn't start there. Okay, so the first thing that I would recommend is treating your face. No matter how nice the makeup is that you put over your face, if your face is very dry, flaky, overly oily, or whatever your problem is, the makeup is just not gonna look good on top. So I definitely recommend one of two things. If you have dry skin, you definitely wanna go with a good oil-free moisturizer. I say oil-free because anything with oil is gonna break your skin out pretty bad. So I recommend, this is the moisturizer that I use. It's from acne.org, and it is a jojoba oil moisturizer, and this is what it looks like. I believe if you get this on the website, it's somewhere around $10, so it's not that expensive at all. And if you have dry skin, you definitely want to exfoliate your skin, whatever way you choose to exfoliate, and then put a nice moisturizer over it so that way your foundation can look nice. Otherwise, it's gonna look a little bit flaky and blotchy. Now, I still moisturize even though I have oily skin. I feel like it's important to nourish your skin either way, so I would stick with the moisturizer, but if you're one of those people that says, my skin is so oily, I don't wanna put any type of moisture on top of it, it's still important to prime your skin. So I have videos on these two products, and this is what I would recommend to prime oily skin. Number one is Milk of Magnesia. I just went ahead and put mine in a little spray bottle so that way I just spray it onto the top of my brush and put a very, very thin layer over my skin after my moisturizer and before my foundation, and this really helps to soak up the oil. I do not get shiny at all during the day when I use this. I do not use this on a daily basis because I really only need it on days where it's really, really humid out, really, really hot, so I don't use this on an everyday basis, but it's great for people with oily skin. And also another great primer that I recommend is the Monistat Chafing Powder Gel, and this is, you know, not, well, I guess it's not for down there, but it's like when your legs, when your thighs brush together and you need something to help the friction so you don't get a rash. Basically, it's a really good primer for the skin. I'm not gonna get into it because I have a video completely on this, but this is like $6 at any of your local drugstores, and it's really good also for oily skin. And it also just gives your makeup a really nice base to glide over. So my first category is treating your skin, whether it's a moisturizer or a primer. Okay, next I'm going to be talking about foundation, and I prefer full coverage. You have to ask yourself when you go to the drugstore, do I want full coverage or do I want sheer coverage? I prefer full coverage, so my recommendation if you want full coverage is the CoverGirl Aquasmooth. A lot of you guys also comment on this. You know that I've been using it for years now. Mine is in the shade Buff Beige, and it is definitely a very full coverage foundation. And if you decide that you don't really want full coverage, maybe you just don't need it or you don't like that look for every day, feel free to go with a tinted moisturizer. One of my favorites is at Target by Sonia Kashuk. It gives the perfect amount of coverage and it covers my acne scars, but you could still see my skin, so it's still breathing through. So if you want a tinted moisturizer, that's definitely one of my recommendations. Also, if you don't want to go with a tinted moisturizer, you could use concealer with powder, which is something I do a lot during the summertime because I haven't been breaking out too much lately, so I just will apply concealer wherever I'm breaking out and then under my eyes and then put a powder over it. So my favorite concealer for using on my face is my NYX concealer in a jar, and this is in the shade Fair. It looks like that, and I actually just put my finger right in it and dab it on my trouble areas. So you can go ahead and pick out any concealer that you like, and then after that, of course, setting it with a powder. It's also very important to set your foundation with the powder so that it stays put all day. So when you're picking a powder out, there's also two questions that you have to ask yourself. Do you want a sheer powder or do you want a full coverage powder? Again, it's depending on what you want, what look you're trying to achieve. I personally like full coverage powder. So my choice is the Prestige Wet Dry Powder Foundation, and I am in the shade Soft Spice. And then on days when I want a little bit of lighter coverage, I will go with my Maybelline Dream Matte Powder, which keeps me very, very matte all day and shine free, but it's very sheer. So it doesn't give any type of coverage on top, it really just keeps my face shine free. Next, I'm just going to go right back into the concealers really quick. Like I said, I really love using the NYX concealer in a jar. It's very, very full coverage. On days that I don't want to use that, I use my HardCandy Glamoflauge in the shade Medium. This is from Walmart and it's like $5 or $6. This is actually, it says that it covers tattoos, so it is like an amazing concealer. It covers everything. On days when I want a little bit more sheer coverage, I use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and it looks like this. And this one is actually especially for under eyes, and that's what I got it for, but I actually started playing around with it and started using it on my acne spot, and it actually is really, really good for that as well. So this is a little bit more of a sheer coverage. It's a thinner formula, but you know, if I'm going to school or work, I don't want to look all done up like I'm going out to dinner or going out to a club. So this is great for days, you know, just on casual days. Okay, and next is blush. I'm sorry guys, I don't have any drugstore blushes. This is the one thing that I don't have, but I have an alternative that I'm going to show you guys at the end. My blush just happens to be from MAC, but you absolutely don't have to go to MAC to get a good matte blush. This one is called Gingerly, and it's just a orangey bronze type of blush. And the other one is from Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics, and it's called Glisten. It's actually a loose powder blush, but basically this one is just shimmery. This one is in the pressed formula and this one is in a loose powder formula. But what it comes down to, basically, I recommend having one matte blush and one shimmery blush. And Maybelline has really nice blushes, and also Wet n Wild has really, really pretty blushes for I think $2.99. I recommend having one matte blush to use on the apples of your cheek, and then one shimmery blush because you can use that as a highlighter on the top of your cheekbones. It looks really, really pretty. Okay, next is eyeliner. I prefer liquid liners because they definitely look a lot more dramatic, but you can go with whatever look you're trying to go for. So for liquid liners, my two favorite are the Milani iTech Extreme and the Physicians Formula Lash Boosting Eyeliner, and they both look pretty similar. They're just felt tip pens, and this is my favorite type of eyeliner to work with because I think it's very easy to create a thin line or a thick line. And I usually like to do a pretty dramatic cat eye, and this makes it very, very easy. So I do recommend the felt tip liners if you're a beginner. Some people might not want to go that dramatic, so you could go with a pencil liner, which is also very easy to use for a beginner. This one is by Prestige, and it's the waterproof automatic pencil in the shade Sepia. And I do recommend the ones that sharpen themselves because they're definitely a lot easier to work with, and they always stay with a fine tip. Okay, next is mascara, and I only have one mascara to recommend to you guys because it's the only mascara that will ever touch my eyelashes. Well, I've had other mascaras in the past, but since I found this mascara, it's the only mascara that I will ever use. And it's by CoverGirl, and it's the Lash Blast Waterproof Formula. I love this mascara because I feel like if you're going to put mascara on, you want to see mascara. Like, obviously, you're not putting mascara on for your lashes to look natural. I think most people want longer, thicker, fuller, more extreme lashes, and this is the only mascara that gives it to me. Now, I will say that the regular formula doesn't do that much for me. The waterproof formula does so much more for me because it is wax-based, so it will really hold your curl in a lot longer. So I definitely recommend the CoverGirl Lash Blast Waterproof mascara. Alright, next, you definitely don't want to forget about your eyebrows. Your eyebrows really frame your eyes. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I want to fix when I look in the mirror is my eyebrows, and I will be fine leaving my house without any makeup except my eyebrows. My eyebrows always have to be done, so I definitely recommend investing in a little eyebrow kit. This one is by Milani. It's really cheap. It's like $5 at CVS. Actually comes with 2 shades that you can mix to get your perfect eyebrow color, and then a highlight to use right on your brow bone to really make your eyebrows stand out. I also love these little quads. Well, these aren't quads because this one comes with 6 and this one comes with 3, but little eyeshadow palettes. I definitely feel like they help a lot because they come with a variety of colors. I love the ones by Wet n Wild. It comes with a variety of matte and shimmer shades, and this one is neutral. This is the Vanity palette, and I think this is like $4.99 at Rite Aid. It's really, really affordable, and there's so many looks that you can do with a palette like this. I definitely think that when you're first starting out, to start off with cheaper palettes like this. And last thing I'm going to be going over is lipsticks. Now, I feel like when you're first starting off with lipsticks that a lot of people tend to go for more neutral shades, and that's absolutely fine. But if you do feel like you want to experiment around with a little bit more more, you know, crazy bolder shades, I would definitely stick with the Wet n Wild matte collection. These are just a few of my favorite colors, and they are $2.99 at Rite Aid. These are extremely pigmented, even more pigmented than some of my MAC lipsticks. I feel like they have such a wide range of colors, so many that you can pick from, and I think the Wet n Wilds are really good to experiment with if you're first starting. So $2.99 at Rite Aid. Basically, that's everything that I think that you need if you're first starting off with makeup. I do want to quickly go over palettes. I don't really recommend the palettes that you see in stores because usually they're a little bit more cheaply made, but I love palettes from Sedona Lace and also from BH Cosmetics. This is just a few of my favorite palettes because I have a huge collection, but this one is a blush palette from Sedona Lace. So you get a really great variety of colors, and I think this was $19 including shipping. So you get all these colors, shimmery and matte, and it's really good for when you're first starting out your collection. I showed you guys this in one of my last favorites videos. This is a concealer palette that I have also from Sedona Lace. Again, a really great variety of colors, really affordable as well. Okay, and this thing is really old, and the eyeshadows are like falling out all over the place, so I hope they don't fall out. But this is from BH Cosmetics, and it's basically an 88. I think this is the shimmer eyeshadow palette, and it just gives you so many colors to play around with, and this is great for girls that are first starting out with makeup, and they really don't have a lot in their collection because you buy something like this and then you basically already have every single color you could imagine. Okay, now I also was going to include my must-have brushes in this video, but this video is already becoming a little bit too long, so let me know if you guys want to see that. I'll let you guys see my most used brushes and where they're from and what they're used for, and the ones that I think that you should start off with if you're starting from scratch. Let me know if you guys want to see that. I will try to list everything that I showed in this video down below so that you guys can reference them. Those are basically the 10 products that I feel like you should start off with if you're starting with absolutely no makeup at all. If I was going to the drugstore with absolutely no makeup, those are the things that I would try to pick up or keep in the back of my head. So as always, let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will try my hardest to answer all of them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.